Hi everyone, this is part 2 of adding and subtracting negative numbers. And so to start off with, I wanted us just to have a look at a number line to remind ourselves about which parts of the number line are positive and which parts are negative. So if we start here at the 0, which is kind of like a neutral number, isn't it? If we move to the right of 0, then these are all positive numbers. And if we move to the left of 0, then these are all negative numbers. So even if we start on a negative number and finish on a negative number, if we're moving to the right, then we're moving in a positive direction. If we start on a positive number and move to the left, we're moving in a negative direction. So that's helpful to keep in mind as we move into the next part of this video. Okay, so here are some of the questions that we looked at in the last video, and I've summarised them by writing the answer as either green or red. Now, I've written the answer green if the answer is more positive than our starting number, and I've written the answer red if the answer is more negative than our starting number. And just to remind you of our definition of more positive or more negative, something is more positive if it's further to the right on our number line, and it's more negative if it's further to the left on our number line. So let's have a look at this first problem up here. 5 plus negative 2 equals 3. So we started at 5, we finished at 3. And in the middle here, we're adding a negative. So we can think of that like we are simply subtracting. And so those two signs together make up a minus. 5 minus 2 equals 3. Or 5 subtract 2 equals 3. Let's have a look at the next one down here. This time we're starting at negative 4. And we're subtracting negative 5. And we finish more positive at 1. So all of this in the middle is really like adding. Minus 4 plus 5 equals 1. Let's have a look up here. Negative 6 plus 2 equals negative 4. Our answer is still a negative number, but negative 4 is further to the right on our number line than negative 6. We started at negative 6, but we moved to the right and finished at negative 4, which is more positive. So in the middle here, we can just see one positive symbol, negative 6 plus 2. So originally there was only one positive sign there, but that's because we were abbreviating or simplifying what's actually happening. And what's actually happening is we are starting at negative 6 and adding positive 2. So both of these signs together simplify to that original single plus. Down the bottom here, it's very similar. Again, we only have one symbol in the middle, and so there is another hidden positive symbol there. And together, the two of these symbols make up a minus. So we have 6 minus 3 equals 3. So we can summarize all of those rules in this table. If we have two positives, like up here, then we will need to move in a positive direction overall. If we have a mix of signs, a positive and a negative, or a negative and a positive, then we'll need to move in a negative direction overall. And if we have two negatives, like down here, then we'll need to move in a positive direction overall. So let's have a look at some more questions now to practice that. So let's have a look at this problem. Negative 6 plus 10. So whenever we first come to a problem, there are three things we need to look for. First of all, we need to see where we're going to start. And that's always this first number here. That is our starting number. So in this problem, we're going to be starting at -6, which is down here. The next thing we need to work out is which direction are we going to be moving. And so in this problem, we need to look in the middle section. And we only have one symbol there at the moment, which is a plus sign. And remember how previously we said that there is actually another invisible plus here for the 10. So we have two plus symbols which make overall a positive, and that's why there was just the one single plus. So we don't need to write in that extra plus. I'm just doing that to show you this time. So we're starting at -6, we're moving in a positive direction, and the last thing we need to know is how far do we need to move? And that is what the last number tells us. The last number tells us how far we need to move. So let's have a go at this problem. We now have everything we need. We're starting at -6. We're moving in a positive direction, which is to the right because we're getting more positive. And we need to move 10 steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we started at -6. We moved 10 steps in a positive direction, and we finished at +4. And that's how we break down the problem to get the solution. Where are we starting? What direction do we need to move? How far do we need to move? Let's have a look at another one. All right, next one. 9 plus -12. So we're going to go through the same process again. Where are we starting? We're starting at 9. And there's a bit of a convention in maths. Convention means like tradition. There's a bit of a pattern of writing positive numbers without the positive symbol. So if this was a -9, we would write the negative symbol there first. But because it's positive, we tend to be a bit lazy and not write the positive symbol. So if there's no symbol, then it's a positive number. If there's a negative symbol, then it's negative. So this is a +9. That's why we're starting at +9. Next, we need to look in the middle to find out which direction we're going to be moving. And in the middle, we can see we have a plus and a negative. So looking up at our summary table of rules, we have plus and a negative. That means overall we're going to be moving in a negative direction. Finally, how far do we need to move? We need to move 12 steps. So we're starting at +9, we're moving 12 steps in a negative direction. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
And we finish at -3. Okay, next one. -8 minus -7. Same thing again. Where are we starting? We're starting at -8. There it is on our number line, -8. Which direction are we going to be moving? Well, let's have a look in the middle. We're going to be moving in a positive direction because we have two minus signs, two negative signs, and two negatives make a positive. How far do we need to move? We need to move 7 steps in a positive direction. So here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Takes us to -1 or -1. Okay, last one. 14 subtract 30. 14 minus 30. Where are we starting? We're starting at +14. Here it is. Which direction do we need to move? Well, there's only one symbol in here. We're moving in a negative direction. And then how far do we need to move? We need to move 30 steps. Now with this problem, our timeline goes in 2s, so we just need to count each step as 2 steps. Here we go.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30.
So we finish at -16. So 14 subtract 30 takes us down to -16. I hope you found that helpful. Please feel free to go back and watch the video again if there's anything that you want to go over. Otherwise, you can also go and check out the first video on zero pairs to understand how we came up with these rules.
Thanks.